Chester, and we're from Copper and Old Farms.
In this video, we're going to share a little bit about ourselves as individuals, how we met as a couple, and also the story of how we ended up here on our farm.
Well, we're going to start with me. As a kid on the farm, I got to experience a lot of different things. I got the pleasure of raising animals such as chickens, ducks, cows, pigs, which in turn we had for 4-H. We did lots of gardening, which wasn't fun at most times, but I enjoy it now. I got to learn how to drive at an early age. So I'd be out in the tractors, trucks, operating in the fields. As I got older and it wasn't needed on the farm as much in between crop growing seasons, I picked up my first job working at a local nursery where I got to work hand in hand with the owner for many years. Learned a lot about plants, anywhere from planting, pruning, propagating, growing, fertilizing. While I was working at the nursery, I entered my high school years and I took the liberty of doing our dual enrollment at the vocational school part-time, where I learned the basics of electricity and electrical equipment, and that's carried me on to the path of where I'm at today.
Well, now it's my turn to tell you a little bit about myself and how I grew up. I didn't have the opportunity of growing up on a farm like Chester did, but I still had a great time and learned a lot from my family. My mom started her own business when I was really young, and I got to see what it takes to be a business owner. Growing up, I found my love of animals and art. I was in 4-H for many years, and I raised and showed rabbits, and I also would draw for fun, and that kind of segued into my high school years, becoming a member of the Art Academy, which was a dual enrollment at the vocational school in our county, where I got to work with international artists and learned a lot of amazing techniques and had so many opportunities in high school that most kids didn't get to have. After high school, I received a scholarship to my local community college where I studied liberal arts, and I focused on education classes because I always wanted to become a teacher. In my heart, I really wanted to become an art teacher, but I did not think I could get a job because it's a really competitive field. I actually transferred to Rowan University as a biology major, and in my second week of classes, I kind of came to a realization that I was doing something I would probably regret later in life. I really wanted to take the chance and become an art teacher, so I switched my major, and that is the time where I met Chester. It was during that transitional time when I met Chester and where our story picks up.
After we started dating, most of our time was spent in the fields harvesting spinach, baling hay, and spending a lot of time together.
Over the next couple years, time went by pretty quickly, as it normally does, and I graduated and was hired right out of college for my first teaching position.
I was pursuing my career in the electrical industry.
And then around that same time when I got my job, we purchased our first home.
And we decided to get married and start a family.
So I was working as a tenured art teacher in my school district, and I went out on my maternity leave, and we decided it was in our family's best interest if I stayed home. Because around that same time, during my maternity leave, we decided to start renovating our first home. I ripped off half the house, dug a new basement, added rooms, new roof, kitchen, pretty much every inch of the house we redid, right?
Yes, we did. A lot of work.
After I resigned from teaching from public school and our home renovations were underway, I also decided to start my own art business where I take commissions and teach art workshops and also private art lessons.
After our renovations were almost complete with our house, we decided with the upbringing of our family to do it the way we wanted to. We needed a bigger property. We wanted to buy our own farm.
So even though we spent years redoing our first home, we realized that we had to give that up to pursue our dream of owning our own farm.
We looked for quite some time, and we sifted through a handful of properties. Well, more than a handful, quite a few.
I stumbled across our now home while I was putting our son down for a nap, and I could not believe that there was such a place, and we realized how special it was when we were finally here.
It falls right into our wheelhouse. Everything we needed is right here, and it was a great place, is a great place to raise our kids and start our farm.
After we purchased our farm, we had to finalize the sale of our first home, and while we were doing that, we were also researching different crops that we could grow here.
We want to work with nature instead of against it because we have a high deer population here.
We wanted to grow unique specialty crops here on our farm, and we decided to first try mushroom production on logs. So we harvest the logs here on our farm and we inoculate them and grow specialty mushrooms. And we also decided to start our elderberry field.
While that was started, we were doing research on our field and soil types, and we decided our fields would be dedicated to lavender because deer don't prefer it.
I hope you enjoyed learning about our history, and we look forward to sharing our future journeys with you. It's your turn.
What do I say?
Come on, man. Put the live. Jesus. Did you hear that? I hope that got on camera. Chester's having a little bit of a digestion issue.
Who's at the door? The mailman.
It's too far. I don't.